The following segment is sponsored by Daniel A. White and Associates.
It does not necessarily reflect the views of WDEL or Forever Media.
The Rick Jensen Show on 101.7 FM, 1150 AM, WDEL, and streaming to your smart speaker and mobile device.
So every Wednesday after it is at 1:30, one of the brilliant minds at Dan White and Associates calls in with a nice tip for you to learn, because they specialize in retirement income as financial planners. Dan Simon is on the phone right now. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing well, Rick. How are you today?
Well, I mean, I'm not one of those who's getting crushed by the extraordinary increase in the school part of the property taxes, the reassessment, but it was the bigger part of my bill. And I tell you what, it's breaking my heart. I'm serious. It's breaking my heart to hear all these horror stories of people who are wondering, how do I even pay my bills and things because of that. So I'm hoping that something good will come of that. Meanwhile, there's everybody else who's trying to save money for themselves and for the future. And I know you guys are really great at that. And what's your tip for today on this?
Yeah, Rick. Well, thank you, as always, for having us on. So as you're well aware, we really serve and focus on the retirement side of planning in the market. But with the the news coming out regarding One Big Beautiful Bill Act, I thought it would be relevant to share something that came through with the bill in regards to what they're referring to as Trump accounts. So while we do focus primarily on the retirement sector of the market, I can't overlook the fact that the Big Beautiful Bill has introduced the ability to help, kickstart savings for parents and kids, specifically young kids. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the Trump. They're called Trump accounts, I guess they're referring to it as.
Yeah.
And how that can really, set, a little one, right? So the babies out there up for their future and instill the groundwork for savings, long-term, compound interest, and helping kids get ahead of the game, because we know, right? You and I know from experience that things get more expensive over time, and the earlier you save, the greater the likelihood of a positive outcome is. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time just today talking about the Trump accounts.
Go for it.
So what the bill proposed and in law now are Trump accounts, and it's pretty straightforward in regards to how they work, what they're trying to accomplish, and the reality is this has been this idea has received bipartisan support for over 20 years now. What they used to refer to as baby bond accounts, we're now terming Trump accounts. So how they work? Any baby born between, what are the dates here? Let's see. So effective July 4th, 2026, parents and others can contribute up to a total of $5,000 per year on behalf of a child. Contributions by employers and nonprofits are also permitted, so that's nice. Somebody else wants to help you fund the Trump accounts, they can. But the accounts are for babies born between January 1st of this year, 2025, and December 31st of 2028. And the nice thing is they'll be seeded with a one-time government contribution of $1,000. And then earnings inside those accounts are tax deferred until the distribution occurs. So while $1,000 doesn't sound like a lot, additional contributions of up to $5,000 can be made by parents or an employer to those accounts. And when you factor that in over the course of 18, 20, even 31 years, those accounts can grow in size, which can really, put those children in an advantageous position going forward into the future. So, some of the caveats, always caveats, right? The minor can access the funds at the age of 18 for higher education expenses, post-secondary education, small business or small farm expenses, or even purchasing a home. And then when the child turns 31, they've got full access to the account, and distributions at that point are taxed not at income tax rates. This is a big difference. They're taxed at capital gains rates, which could be even more advantageous depending upon where capital gains rates are now. But more often than not, in today's world, a capital gains tax would be more advantageous than income tax.
Well, I mean, you think about it. You go back 5 years ago. NVIDIA was like, so I bought NVIDIA at $8 a share, and before the split, I sold out at $288. But it was great. Well, because it was dropping, it was at 3 something, and I had no idea that they were going to be so successul with AI. But whatever, you never cry about making money, right? So I'm not crying about that.
Not.
But so the thing is about these accounts, you can put them in anything, an index fund, an annuity, even market, I suppose, can't you? Or what?
Yeah. So ideally, if we're looking at an 18 to 31 year time horizon, I mean, the simple solution would be some type of index fund that's low cost with access to, capital growth. So yes, these accounts can be opened at any bank, any qualifying investment institution. And at that point, you've got discretion over how the funds are managed.
Nice. So, but keep in mind, it's all tax deferred. I mean, you're using after tax money to put into there, and but you're going to pay tax on the interest and or dividends or whatever, right? When you take it out.
Correct. I mean, not quite as good as a Roth IRA, but you're taking advantage of tax deferred growth and then the distribution subject to capital gains tax. Yes,
well, wait a second.
After-tax money.
But you get the $1,000, but you can't take that and put it into a Roth IRA. It has to go into one of these specific accounts.
Correct. Yeah, so the $1,000 applies to the quote-unquote Trump account.
All right, well, that's good to know.
But it's a way to get a child started. And then I look at it, I mean, I've got kids. They're not quite of, the age of 18 yet, but, I see it serving as a very good instrument to teach a younger person the benefits of, buy and hold, wait, and allow the market to do what the market does and take advantage of, compound deferred growth. So when they're entering the workforce, hey, I got $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 here in this account because mom and dad started early. It's going to help me, maybe with a down payment on a home or an education expense, whatever it may have done. But it should really, keep the flame ignited to say, hey, retirement, it's going to be here sooner rather than later.
That's true.
Let's start saving now. So I think it's a great idea, and I hope people take advantage of it.
Yeah, me too. It is a great idea. Dan Simon, Dan White & Associates, financial planners specializing in retirement income. In fact, Dan hosts a program every Sunday morning at 7 here on 1150 AM and 101.7 FM and streaming to your digital device, and as I like to say, your relatively knowledgeable phone. What do you know what the topic is going to be this Sunday at 7?
Well, from my understanding, as Dan White went through all, I think it was, 987,652 pages of the Big Beautiful Bill Act.
Wow.
And his show is on what the Big Beautiful Bill means to you. So I think it'll be very pertinent and relevant for, what may be on your listeners' minds these days.
Seriously. The show, I'm not going to say it'll be bigly, but that's a lot of reading to do. It's going to be Sunday morning at 7 here on WDEL. Dan Simon, thanks for your time, my friend. Thank you, sir.
All right, Rick. Have a great afternoon. Take care.
You too. All right, bye-bye.